The 1980s gave farmers something special, tractors they didn't just use, but loved. These machines started every morning, pulled through impossible jobs, and earned trust the hard way, hour after hour, season after season. They weren't perfect on paper, but they were perfect in real fields. Farmers kept them longer, passed them down generations, and still talk about them today. Some are still working land, decades later, refusing to retire. This is the story of 10 most beloved tractors from the 1980s, machines that didn't just farm the land, but became part of farm families and agricultural history. Number 1. John Deere 4450. The John Deere 4450, produced from 1983 to 1988, is widely regarded as one of the finest row crop tractors of the entire 1980s. It belonged to John Deere's 50 series, a lineup that refined the already successful 40 series by improving operator comfort, hydraulics, and drivetrain durability while retaining proven mechanical foundations. At the heart of the 4450 was Deere's legendary 7.6-liter 4060 cubic inch turbocharged inline-six diesel, an engine known not for flashy horsepower claims, but for massive low RPM torque and long service life. Rated around 155 to 160 engine horsepower, the tractor delivered dependable drawbar and PTO power for large tillage tools, air seeders, and heavy grain carts. What made the 4450 truly beloved was not just power, but how usable that power was. Buyers could choose between quad range and full power shift transmissions, both of which allowed smooth speed changes under load, a major productivity advantage when working variable soil conditions. The power shift in particular became famous for its durability and ease of use during long days of repetitive field passes. Deere also improved hydraulic capacity compared to earlier models, ensuring reliable operation of increasingly complex implements. The Sound Guard cab, already iconic by the 1980s, reached a mature form on the 4450. Noise levels were low for the era, visibility was excellent, and control placement was logical. Details that mattered enormously during 12 to 14-hour workdays. Farmers often commented that the 4450 was a tractor you could operate all day without feeling beaten up, something not always true of earlier high-horsepower machines. From a maintenance standpoint, the 4450 earned long-term trust. Routine service points were accessible, the engine tolerated high hours when properly maintained, and Deere's global parts network ensured longevity. Many 4450s purchased new in the 1980s are still working today, either on farms or in restored condition, a testament to a design that balanced strength, simplicity, and operator comfort better than almost any competitor of its time. Number 2. John Deere 4440. The John Deere 4410 is often called the Iron Horse of American agriculture, and for good reason. Though introduced in 1978, its production ran into 1982, and its real working life dominated the entire early 1980s. Many farmers who bought a 4410 expected it to be their primary tractor for a decade, and for most it was. The machine was powered by the same 7.6-liter turbocharged inline-six diesel family that later served the 4450, producing around 130–140 PTO horsepower, a sweet spot for large row crop operations of the era. What set the 4440 apart was its almost legendary durability. The tractor featured planetary final drives, heavy axles, and a drivetrain designed to withstand continuous high drawbar loads. Farmers trusted the 4440 for deep tillage, large planters, and heavy PTO work because it could absorb abuse without constant repairs. The availability of quad range and power shift transmissions meant operators could match speed precisely to conditions, reducing wheel slip and fuel waste. The 4440 also benefited from the Sound Guard cab, which dramatically changed expectations for operator comfort. Compared to open-station tractors still common in the 1970s, the 4440 felt modern, quiet, and controlled. This improved not only comfort but productivity, as operators could work longer with less fatigue. Visibility to the rear and sides was excellent, making it easier to monitor large implements. Another major reason the 4440 became beloved was serviceability. The tractor's mechanical systems were straightforward, diagnostic electronics were minimal, and most repairs could be handled by local mechanics or experienced farm operators. Because tens of thousands were sold, parts availability remained strong, and still is. Even today, the 4040 is one of the most commonly restored and actively used classic tractors in North America. For many farmers, the 4440 represents the peak of mechanical reliability before electronics began to dominate tractor design. That reputation, earned through years of real field work, is why the 4440 remains one of the most respected tractors ever built. Number 3. JI Case 2290. The JI Case 2290, produced in the early 1980s, was part of the respected Case 90 series, a lineup designed to deliver high horsepower with minimal complexity. Case built the 2290 for farmers who valued strength, accessibility, and uptime over luxury or experimental technology. Power came from a turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel, delivering roughly 130–140 horsepower, placing the tractor squarely in competition with Deere's mid to high row crop models. Where the 2290 excelled was in practical engineering. The tractor used a closed-center hydraulic system, providing consistent hydraulic flow for heavy implements. An important advantage as planters, cultivators, and tillage tools grew heavier during the decade. The rear hitch and hydraulic lift were robust, allowing the tractor to handle large mounted equipment without stability issues. Case transmissions of this era were known for strength and simplicity. While not as refined as Deere's PowerShift in feel, they were extremely durable and well-suited for sustained heavy pulling. Operators appreciated that the tractor's mechanical layout made routine servicing straightforward. Filters, pumps, and major wear components were accessible, reducing downtime during critical seasons. The cab design, while conservative, emphasized function over flair. Controls were logically placed. Visibility was good, and noise levels were competitive for the era. Farmers who ran Case equipment often stayed loyal because they trusted the brand's engineering philosophy, and the 2290 reinforced that trust by simply doing its job reliably year after year. Today, the Case 2290 is remembered as a serious working tractor, not a showpiece. Its reputation was built in the field, pulling plows, chisels, and heavy equipment without complaint. That honest performance is why it remains a respected and sought-after model among Case enthusiasts. Number 4. Ford 2W25. The Ford 2W, introduced in the early 1980s, represented Ford's serious entry into the high-horsepower row crop market. Unlike earlier Ford tractors that focused on utility and mid-range work, the 2W series was built specifically to handle large implements, heavy tillage, and long operating hours. The 2W25 was powered by a turbocharged 6.6-liter 6-cylinder diesel, producing roughly 150–160 horsepower, making it one of Ford's most powerful tractors of the decade. The TW25's design emphasized strength and balance. The chassis was heavier than previous Ford models, improving traction and stability under load. Hydraulics were upgraded to handle large mounted and semi-mounted implements, and Ford offered transmission configurations that allowed operators to maintain consistent speeds across varying soil conditions, critical for productivity during planting and cultivation. One of the TW25's standout features was its operator environment. Ford invested heavily in cab ergonomics during this era, resulting in good visibility, effective climate control, and logical control placement. Contractors and large farm operators appreciated that the tractor could be run hard all day without excessive fatigue. Serviceability also played a key role in the TW25's reputation. Ford designed the tractor so that routine maintenance could be performed without specialized equipment, and strong dealer networks in Europe and export markets ensured parts availability. While not as numerous as John Deere models, the TW25 earned a loyal following among operators who wanted serious power without excessive complexity. The Ford W25 remains a symbol of Ford's peak high-horsepower era, a tractor built for real work, respected for its durability, and remembered fondly by those who depended on it during the demanding farming seasons of the 1980s. Number 5. Ford 7610. The Ford 7610, introduced in 1982, became one of the most widely respected mid-horsepower tractors of the 1980s, especially on mixed and family-run farms. Unlike large row crop tractors built mainly for heavy tillage, the 7610 was designed to do everything reasonably well, which is exactly why farmers loved it. Power came from Ford's proven 4.4-liter four-cylinder diesel, producing roughly 85 PTO horsepower, an ideal range for plowing, baling, mowing, transport work, and loader duties. One of the key reasons the 7-TWD stood out was fuel efficiency. Compared to 6-cylinder tractors in the same era, the 7-TWD stud consumed noticeably less fuel while still delivering dependable torque. This mattered during the 1980s, a decade when fuel costs and operating efficiency became increasingly important to farm profitability. The tractor's weight distribution also made it stable with a front loader, something many competitors struggled with at the time. Ford offered the 7610 with several transmission options, including synchronized gearboxes and dual power partial power shift, giving operators flexibility depending on budget and workload. The hydraulic system was strong for its class, capable of running modern balers and implements without hesitation. Visibility from the cab was excellent, especially for loader and yard work, a major practical advantage that earned long-term loyalty. Maintenance simplicity further cemented the 7610's reputation. The engine was easy to service, parts were widely available, and many routine repairs could be handled without dealer intervention. This made the tractor particularly attractive in regions where farms relied heavily on in-house maintenance. Even today, the Ford 7610 is still commonly found working, not just restored proof that its reputation was earned through decades of dependable service rather than nostalgia alone. Number 6. Massey Ferguson 399. The Massey Ferguson 399, launched in 1986, was the flagship of MF's highly successful 300 series, and it quickly earned a reputation as one of the most dependable tractors of its size anywhere in the world. Built around the legendary Perkins 6-cylinder diesel engine, the 399 produced around 9,500 horsepower, delivering smooth torque and excellent fuel efficiency, traits that made it popular across Europe, Asia, Africa, and parts of North America. What made the MF 399 truly beloved was its versatility. It could handle heavy PTO work like baling and silage, manage tillage on medium-sized farms, and still perform yard and transport duties without feeling oversized. The tractor's weight and wheelbase provided excellent traction, while its hydraulic system offered reliable lift capacity for mounted implements increasingly used during the 1980s. Massey Ferguson focused heavily on operator usability with the 399. The cab offered good visibility, logical control placement, and reasonable noise insulation for the era. The tractor was comfortable enough for long working days, but mechanically simple enough to remain trustworthy. Unlike some competitors experimenting with early electronics, the MF 399 stayed largely mechanical, a decision that paid off in long-term reliability. One of the biggest reasons the 399 became so widely loved was global parts availability. Perkins engines were used across countless machines, meaning spares and expertise were readily available even in remote regions. This made the 399 a practical long-term investment rather than a short-term purchase. Today, the MF 399 remains highly sought after in developing markets and among collectors because it represents the ideal balance of power, simplicity, and durability from the 1980s. Number 7. Fiatagri 90. The Fiatagri 9090, introduced in 1984, represented a distinctly European philosophy of tractor design, one that prioritized usable torque, compact strength, and operator comfort over headline horsepower figures. Rated at approximately 90 horsepower, the tractor was powered by a 4.9-liter 5-cylinder Fiat diesel, an engine praised for its smooth operation and strong pulling ability at low RPM. European farmers quickly appreciated how the 9090 handled continuous heavy work, such as plowing, hauling, and PTO-driven operations. The torque characteristics meant fewer gear changes and less engine stress during long workdays. The tractor's relatively compact size compared to American row crop machines also made it ideal for smaller fields, narrow farm lanes, and European implement sizes. One of the standout features of the 90 series was its cab design, styled by Pininfarina. Visibility, ergonomics, and comfort were well ahead of many competitors in the mid-1980s. Heating and ventilation systems were effective, making the tractor practical year-round in varied climates. Fiatagri also emphasized serviceability. The engine and drivetrain were accessible, and the tractor avoided unnecessary electronic complexity. In regions where dealer access was limited, this simplicity was critical. Parts availability across Europe and export markets ensured the tractor could be maintained for decades. The Fiatagri 9090 never tried to be flashy, and that's exactly why it succeeded. It became beloved as a steady, dependable daily worker, still respected today for its durability and thoughtful engineering. Number 8. The Steiger Panther 1000. The Steiger Panther 1000, produced in the early 1980s, was built for one purpose: move massive amounts of earth in minimal time. Designed for large-scale farming and professional contractors, the Panther 1000 featured an articulated four-wheel drive chassis and massive Cummins or Caterpillar diesel engines, producing well over 300 horsepower, depending on configuration. Unlike conventional row crop tractors, the Panther 1000 excelled at pulling extra-wide plows, deep rippers, and large cultivators across thousands of acres. The articulated frame allowed excellent traction and maneuverability for a machine of its size, while equal-sized wheels distributed weight evenly to reduce soil compaction, a major advantage in large-acre operations. Steiger tractors were known for overbuilt frames, massive drive lines, and industrial-grade components. Cooling systems, fuel tanks, and hydraulic capacity were designed for continuous heavy operation, often running 16 to 20 hours a day during peak seasons. Operators valued the Panther 1000 not for comfort or finesse, but for reliability under extreme workloads. Fuel consumption was high, but on large farms, the productivity gains justified the cost. Fewer passes, wider implements, and reduced labor hours made the Panther indispensable where time equaled yield. The Panther 1000 became beloved because it changed what was possible in large-scale agriculture. It wasn't just a tractor, it was a productivity machine. And even today, it is remembered as one of the most important high-horsepower tractors of the 1980s. Number 9. International Harvester 1066. The International Harvester 1066 is a rare example of a tractor whose reputation grew stronger after production ended. Although manufactured between 1971 and 1976, the 1066 remained one of the most heavily used tractors throughout the 1980s, especially on small to medium farms that valued durability over modern features. Many farmers who entered the 1980s already owned a 1066 and saw no reason to replace it. At the heart of the 1066 was the legendary DT414 turbocharged inline-six diesel, producing around 125–130 horsepower. What made this engine special was not peak output, but extreme torque at low RPM and an ability to tolerate hard use with minimal fuss. The engine was mechanically simple, overbuilt, and forgiving, ideal for long days of plowing, disking, and heavy PTO work. The drivetrain reflected IH's old-school philosophy. The gear transmission with torque amplifier gave operators flexibility under load, and the rear end was massively built. Final drives, axles, and housings were designed to survive abuse, not just warranty periods. Farmers often said the 1066 would pull until the wheels stopped turning, a reputation earned in tough soil and heavy draft conditions. By the 1980s, something important happened. Electronics began entering tractors, but the 1066 had none. That made it easier, not harder, to keep running as machines aged. Repairs could be done with basic tools, manuals, and experience. Local mechanics understood the tractor intimately, and parts availability remained strong because of the huge production numbers. The cab was basic by 1980s standards, but functional. Visibility was good, controls were mechanical and predictable, and the tractor communicated clearly with the operator. No sensors, no warning codes, just sound, feel, and response. The IH-1066 became beloved not because it was new, but because it kept farms running when money was tight. During the difficult farm economy of the 1980s, reliability mattered more than comfort or innovation. That's why the 1066 is still remembered with respect. It was a tractor that earned trust the hard way by never quitting. Number 10. Ford TW35. The Ford TW35, introduced in 1984, represented the absolute top end of Ford's conventional tractor lineup during the 1980s. While earlier Ford tractors were known for simplicity and efficiency, the TW35 was built to compete directly with the largest row crop tractors from John Deere and Case. It was designed for serious tillage, large implements, and long hours under load. Power came from a turbocharged 6.6-liter Ford six-cylinder diesel, rated around 170–190 horsepower, depending on configuration and market. This placed the TW35 firmly in the high horsepower category, capable of pulling wide cultivators, heavy discs, and large planters that smaller tractors could not handle efficiently. One of the TW35's defining characteristics was weight and balance. Ford significantly reinforced the chassis compared to earlier models, improving traction and stability. The hydraulic system was designed for high lift capacity and sustained flow, allowing the tractor to manage heavy-mounted and semi-mounted implements without strain. Transmission options included multi-range gearboxes and power shift variants, giving operators flexibility across soil types and tasks. While not as refined as Deere's power shift, the TW35's driveline earned a reputation for strength and durability, particularly when maintained properly. The cab reflected Ford's late 1980s focus on operator environment. Visibility was excellent, noise levels were competitive, and climate control made long days tolerable. Contractors appreciated that the tractor could be run hard for extended periods without excessive operator fatigue, a critical factor when time windows were tight. Serviceability remained a Ford strength. The TW35 avoided unnecessary electronic systems, making it easier to diagnose and repair compared to some competitors entering the digital era. Strong dealer networks in Europe and export markets further supported long-term ownership. The TW35 never sold in the numbers of Deere's flagships, but among those who owned one, it earned deep respect. It represents Ford at its most ambitious and capable, a tractor built not for compromise, but for heavy professional-grade work in the demanding conditions of 1980s agriculture. So that's it today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.